This show is brought to you by Directory.com, the safest way to hire a contractor.
And we are back. Dimitri in Minneapolis and Jason in Florida discussing crazy settlements. Today we're covering stories of homeowner associations suing their insurance companies. We already covered two stories of $15 million settlement, the last one. And next one is also right there with those lines. Miami Condo Association won a multi-million-dollar judgment against their insurance company, but only after a 6-year legal battle that included fraud accusations. Here's the timeline. September 10, 2017, Hurricane Irma hits Florida. Samari Lakes East Condominium Association suffers widespread damage affecting all 635 units. October 2017, Samari submits a claim. Heritage sends an adjuster who estimated $22,000 in damages, well below the deductible. Of course, 635 units and 22 grand in damages. June 2018, Samari submits its own estimate, $14.2 million in invokes appraisal. Late 18, early 19, both sides agree to mediation, which fails. Appraisals continues. August 2019, wow, the time goes fast here. Heritage sends a denial letter accusing Samari of fraud. So insurance companies calling Conde fraud. September 19, court orders the appraisal process to go forward despite Heritage's fraud allegations. December 2019, 2 years after the storm, appraisal award issues for $14.88 million, 500 times higher than Heritage's estimate. October 2021, Heritage fraud allegations are proven false. Summary judgment granted for Summary for more than $16 million. March 2023, an appeals court upholds the ruling. Heritage finally pays, but attorney fees and punitive claims remain. June 2023, Summary filed a follow-up lawsuit alleging Heritage acted in bad faith. April 2024, court dismisses case confirming all claims are resolved by confidential settlement. Why this case matters? Shows the power of appraisal first. Despite Heritage initial $22,000 estimate, the appraisal panel awarded $14.88 million, showing the policyholder can fight back and win. Ended with a settlement, but triggered public scrutiny. While bad faith claims were settled quietly in 2024, the details made public through court filings raised serious issues, including unlicensed adjusters. Heritage was accused of using unlicensed adjusters in thousands of hurricanes claims. Delay tactics. Heritage allegedly sent over 700 deposition notices and filed a baseless fraud suit to avoid paying. Wider pattern of misconduct. The amended complaint referenced at least 8 other condo associations similarly targeted by Heritage claim handling tactics post-Hurricane Irma. There's so many claims are still not settled from that storm. I'm still hearing nightmare stories from associations, homeowners, contractors. It's crazy what they do. I mean, this is the first one that I've heard that insurance companies alleging fraud and actually loses, because you can call fraud anyone you want. And usually they're the one committing fraud. But here they lost. How can you call someone fraud and not be able to prove it? What's your take on the story?
Yeah, that's what stands out the biggest to me is they filed a baseless fraud suit, which can be scary for the person, the homeowner, right? Like, so I found that to be crazy. But again, 22,000 to almost 15 million. But what's crazy too is there's 8 other condos with the same insurance company that had the same issues, and so it's not just one person.
Florida is crazy. Do you see a lot of like here's my worries. Florida almost does not have good insurance now. So many people, so many insurance companies left, right? And if you ever been after hurricane in an area, it looks like war zone. It looks like the devastation. It looks like third world country. I've been in so many areas affected. The problem is 2 years, 3 years, 4 years later, it's still not recognizable. When you go to Louisiana, you still see damage from 2005 Katrina, right? It's still there. There are areas that just don't rebuild. So if you have, let's say, 500,000 homes, yeah, few people will fight for millions. A lot of people will relocate. A lot of people will drop. Those insurance companies collect millions and millions, billions actually. And then when the time is to pay up, what do? They ask government, can you step in? Can you help? This is not our problem. It's your problem. Well, yeah, FEMA is there too, also corrupt. But Jason, can you explain to our listeners few terms here? So what's appraisal a word? Because we have appraisal here issued for 14.88 million, and after that it was a fraud allegations. What's appraisal and why it did not work here?
Well, I mean, it's probably what actually ended up getting them paid out is getting a third party's appraisal, like someone that's licensed. And honestly, if you look at this, the insurance company didn't use licensed adjusters. That's another red flag too. Like, and it shows the power of appraisal by hiring somebody to come in and give you an appraisal. That's a third party that's going to kind of mediate, right? Like that's going to help. But it's funny to me that the insurance company didn't even use somebody licensed. That blows my mind. But another thing that people don't understand is now this homeowner still has to go through all the permitting processes, the approval process to even get the work done. So even though it took them 6 years to get paid, it could take them another 2 years to get the work done because a lot of times the system is held up by, permitting because you can't get in to do the work because there's so many people applied. And your local, areas, they can't get people to inspect. It becomes a massive problem. I was just in St. Pete Beach, and they're dealing with the same issue from last year. You can't even put drywall in your house without an inspection. And so, it's hard to even get a permit to put drywall in your house from the storm.
Another angle to look at it, also think about this. Like, imagine if you're a contractor and working with a case like this. So this case, start to finish, 6 years. So if you're the contractor, I mean, you know how much work, manpower, office hours takes to document the damage in 635 units? Like, it's a lot of so insurance companies working on it, but also probably someone, I don't think it was, association not going to be able to even write the exactimate and all the estimates for it. Like, I know they, $14.2 million estimate. It's how long would it take your company, Jason, to come up with a $14.2 million estimate? What's the cost like of estimating or doing the job?
Yeah, that would take a long time to come up with that estimate. But the key to that is hiring your own appraisal because the insurance company is going to hire their appraisal people too. And theirs are always going to side with them and it's going to be a much lower amount. So as a consumer, a customer, you need to go and find your own person to do your appraisal. And honestly, a good attorney is going to be able to find somebody. So you probably usually end up in the middle somewhere.
Absolutely. So there's a few more terms here, but who do you usually see for adjusters? And like, I want to ask you, how popular are public adjusters? I know you're like a capital of public adjusters. Like, could public adjuster help in this kind of situation?
In some instances they can, but what I found recently is the attorneys it's much easier with an attorney. The only issue now in Florida is the attorney fees are added into the claim. So if it's a $30,000 claim and the attorney costs $10,000, then the homeowner's only getting $20,000 now, and that's really slowed it down a lot. Where it used to be the attorney's fees were on top of it.
What about public adjuster fee?
I don't really use public adjusters anymore. We typically just go to an insurance adjuster or a lawyer. We don't even go that route here in Florida. We don't specifically.
So is this insurance company Heritage, are they still in business?
Not that I know of, no.
So they pulled out.
Yep, a lot of them did pull out.
That's crazy. So what are the options? I mean, who is insuring like associations, and is there a true crisis? What's your take on Florida insurance situation?
So yeah, insurance is extremely expensive in Florida. And honestly, like if you wanted to file a claim now for damage on your roof, there's like storm deductibles that are extremely high. People aren't filing deduct or insurance claims anymore in Florida because the deductibles are so high. So the insurance was able to raise their premiums, and then less people actually file for storm damage now than they did in the past. So it's a win-win for your insurance companies. But a lot of people are moving towards Florida has their own insurance that they offer, and that's what a lot of homeowners have now. And it's not good insurance at all.
As a contractor, would you take this job? Would you work with this Miami Conda Association?
If I had a good attorney, I would. Yeah, yeah, I would.
It's a lot of work, but also you have to wait 6 years to get it, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. When you work with your contractor, a lot of people say, "Well, what do you do? There's not much you can do." You have no idea what contractor does daily. I mean, we're literally finishing jobs this year that we started 3, 4 years ago. Amount of settlement, headaches, back and forth. I think we're one of the leaders for unpaid time because we work on so many estimates. We meet so many people. We help with so many decisions that we cannot charge for it. If you're a general contractor, you can't charge for like picking up faucets and colors, even if it's in contract. Like, it's still like how much, like what's the reasonable time, right? Like people will drag, and claims are a completely different story. Also time consuming, back and forth, back and forth. You can be the best estimator, but good luck. Good. I mean, that's why so many contractors go out of business too.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out what the cost is for all the staff that spends a ton of hours in the office, like trying to figure out the case. So, and you can't really bill for that. It's really, really difficult.
Absolutely. That's why a lot of contractors go out of business. But I'm happy to see these positive stories today. $15 million finally was paid in 2024, 7 years later. When we come back, we have one more story, Louisiana class action lawsuit. And this is the biggest story today. You don't want to go anywhere. We'll be right back.